Right now on KGW Plus, a 13-year-old is caught behind the wheel trying to dodge deputies in a high-speed chase. Plus,
we're either ready to go back to school or we're ready to hit the picket lines.
Some workers in the Evergreen School District in Vancouver will start voting today on whether or not to strike just days before the start of the new school year, what they're demanding, and how the district is responding. Also ahead.
They want to continue to pound the Ukrainians until they get what they want, and that's why standing up to them is the only way to do it.
Why some experts say Russian President Putin has little incentive to stop his assault on Ukraine, and the new pressure the U.S. is facing to step up support to end the conflict. Then later.
Run with water, check on people around you.
Yeah, we're talking hood to coast. This year could be the hottest hood to coast relay ever. Rod's going to have all the details on how hot it will be, and we're also talking about what race organizers are doing to help runners beat the heat. The 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Should we invite our friend in now?
Come
There's
on
our
in.
friend. Hey, friend.
I'm your
Welcome
only
to the
friend?
hour.
I'm your only friend.
Not our only.
Well, you are my only friend.
You're my only friend.
Oh, thank you.
Actually.
Can I show you guys all my friends? Hey, friends, come on in. Nah, never mind.
Good grief. Hey, real quick to get serious. So we said it could be the hottest hood to coast relay ever. We're saying that. You know, the dates change of the hood to coast relay, but we do know from August 18th to the 31st, Portland's never had a day go hotter than 102. And we're projecting 100 tomorrow in the afternoon when runners come through. And it could be 102 tomorrow. So if it's not going to end up being the absolute hottest afternoon for Portland runners coming through the valley tomorrow, it will be within a degree or so of very, very close to that. So it's a tremendous concern, the hydration, the potential fatigue for our relay runners tomorrow. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Clear skies, a little shallow fog. It's going to be 70s at the beach today and then 80s at the beach tomorrow and maybe 80s still, or at least 80 on Saturday. Portland, beautiful day. Again, take advantage of this morning. We're at 59 degrees. I have us warming up to 75 at noon and then stopping just shy of 90 for a high of 89 today. Back to you.
Thank you, Rod. We have a look at your drive times right now. Looking pretty good at 8 in the morning on your Thursday. So from Brookwood Parkway to I-405, 24 minutes. Troutdale to I-5, 26 minutes. But Wilsonville Road to Markham Bridge, a little longer for you than usual. Going to take you 35 minutes.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. ESC is on the go. Hey, hey.
In Evergreen Public Schools, some workers have bargained for a new contract for months now, and still no deal has been reached. And now those employees will decide today whether or not to go on strike.
So this group of workers includes paraeducators, maintenance workers, some other classified staff members. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has been all over the story for the last couple of days. Thomas, we know you're outside Harmony Elementary in Vancouver. Members are going to vote right there at that spot later today. What are you hearing from some of these members?
Well, Drew and China, already people have been congregating here for the past 10 minutes, and that voting started right at 8 o'clock. They couldn't vote until then. I want to show you what we're seeing right now. Here are some signs. We are worth it. Fair contract today. No more delay. All from the union. They've got shirts, and right over here, right behind us, is those union members just beginning to vote as well. Some telling me so far that it seems like the large majority of the union wants to strike. They were on the picket lines yesterday, and they say so far bargaining has not gone as well as they would have liked it to. Now today they're going to make a call whether to strike or agree to a new contract. Union members tell me they've bargained with the district since March. There's a couple things they're looking for: higher wages and safer working conditions.
We work with a lot of, unfortunately, dysregulated and behavior students, and so a lot of times we're getting injured and employees are having to go on workers' comp.
People are passionate about the work they do, but they can't afford to keep doing this job.
We asked Evergreen Public Schools what happens if these workers are striking next week when school begins. This morning they tell us they'll continue to bargain and say in a statement, the hope is that an agreement will be reached that allows us to start the school year as scheduled on August 26th, that is. Still, workers that we spoke with say that they're ready to strike. They say they don't want any more delay. They would rather have a decision come today. Of course, we're going to follow this and learn more from these workers to figure out what decision they're going to make today. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz with that developing story for us in Vancouver. Meanwhile, one of our wildest stories of the morning comes from Multnomah County. That's where deputies say a driver led them on a chase in the middle of the night along I-84, and it turned out that driver was only 13 years old. The sheriff's office says it happened around 3:15 Sunday morning. That's when deputies tried to stop a driver who they thought may have been driving under the influence. They say the car took off, and deputies eventually had to use spike strips to stop it.
Everyone on the scene was shocked to see that the driver was actually a 13-year-old kid. If that car had crashed, it could have been tragic.
So again, a 13-year-old driver with 5 other teenagers in the car with him. Police say 2 of them were reported runaways. No one was hurt, though. The 13-year-old faces several charges, including reckless driving and eluding a police officer.
Meantime, the driver accused in a crash that killed a coach and a player from the Umpqua Community College softball team has pleaded guilty to manslaughter and assault charges and could face up to 10 years in prison. The crash happened in Coos Bay back in April while the team was traveling back from a game. Freshman Kylie Jones right there and head coach Jamie Strins were killed. Police say Jonathan Dowdy crossed the center lines of Highway 42, hitting the team bus head on.
A motorcycle rider died after colliding with a car on Northeast Marine Drive. Portland police told us this happened just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon near 158th Avenue. First responders tried to save the person on the motorcycle, but they died at the scene. There's still no word on what caused the crash.
Copper theft is on the rise locally, and it turns out Oregon and Washington are the top states in the country when it comes to this crime. According to internet provider CenturyLink, people are cutting cables and stealing the copper from inside the rubber casing. And they say it's happened more than 370 times in Washington this year, 140 times in Oregon. That's up from about 80 incidents in Oregon last year. But every time a cable is cut, there is an outage affecting anywhere from 10 people to 100,000 people that rely on it for internet and phone service.
My fear is at this rate, eventually it's going to cause a death, not contribute to it. It's going to cause a death because someone can't get help. Some of this is narcotics driven. A large majority of it is by groups of people who are looking for a way to get their next fix.
Right now, copper is worth about $4 a pound. To try and put a stop to theft, CenturyLink is now moving away from copper in favor of less profitable materials. They're also adding GPS trackers to cables in troubled spots. And when people go to sell the metal, state law requires scrap dealers to wait 3 days to reimburse people to try to give them time to trace its origin. Our Blair Best went inside a Portland recycling plant to see what steps they're taking to make sure that they aren't buying stolen metals. And she also talked to a man who hunts for metal scraps. You can watch her full report anytime on KGW+.
We have new details this morning about a grass fire that started earlier this week at a homeless camp along the Sandy River.
The Corbett's fire chief says getting to the fire was extremely difficult because of barricades that were set up, and he also says people in the camp didn't want their help. The chief told us that people at what's known as the 1,000 Acres camp were seen trying to put the fire out themselves. Since the flames were dying down, firefighters didn't go into the camp. Instead, they kept an eye on things with a drone until they saw the fire was out. Here's more from the fire chief.
We need kind of a seat at the table with talking about fire protection down here. If indeed homeless encampments are going to continue down here, our recommendation, of course, would bring them out of the forest, which would diminish the threat of that. But if they are going to be down there, we need some sort of access to get in there and fight those fires.
Earlier this year, there were efforts to clear this property that's owned by the Oregon Division of State Lands, but the campers didn't leave.
All right, let's get back to Rod Hill in the Weather Center. Top headline of the morning, just how hot it's going to be starting tomorrow. We're still talking about 5 days in the 90s, right, Rod?
Yeah, full confidence on a couple of things, meaning the weather models would have to do a complete flip-flop, and also meaning that when I say models, all of them pretty much are showing the same thing. Drew alluded to it, at least 5 and maybe 6 days of 90+. Haven't gone beyond 3 yet this summer. PDX has actually not hit 100 degrees yet. We've hit 99 3 times. Could hit 100 tomorrow. We could be above 100 on Saturday. The Weather Service has us under an extreme heat warning starting at 11 tomorrow morning, getting us into the afternoon, and at this point continuing through at least Monday night. Heat exhaustion becomes a primary threat even for young, healthy people who are active and physically fit, and that just means you've got to be conscious of what your body's telling you. If you need to take a break out in the middle of the heat of the day, take a break. By all means, water, staying hydrated on a regular basis. The doctors will tell you, don't wait until you're thirsty. Have a plan to continually be drinking water if you're going to be out in the heat of the day of the coming afternoons. Here's Timberline Lodge, clear skies. It'll be clear up there tomorrow when Hood to Coast Relay begins. It actually starts in the middle of the overnight hours. We think temperatures around sunup at Timberline tomorrow will be right at about 60 degrees up there. Not expecting much of any wind. Here's a look at the valley, which is perfectly clear. This is Willamette Valley Vineyards, just south of Salem, off of I-5, looking out over the clear, cloudless sky, if you will. And we're clear here in Portland. We're clear everywhere, actually. 59 in Vancouver, 61 in Westland, 57 out in Troutdale. These are the 8 o'clock temperatures. 60 now in Salem, and 60 degrees currently down in Albany. I think generally shy of 90 out east today, but hitting 90 in Central Oregon. The Dow's 90s today and tomorrow, and then 100 for you on Saturday. Kind of a day behind Portland. And then Salem expected to get up to 90 today. Portland will be close, and maybe we do it. I've got us at 89. In red is the impact alert for the hot weather. A couple days threatening 100 tomorrow and Saturday, upper 90s on Sunday, maybe upper 90s on Monday. Right now we've got Monday at 95, and that is your update.
Rod's got your weather numbers. We've got your traffic numbers back here. A quick look at the drive times in from Vancouver. Things are definitely getting better. I-205 south from Patton Parkway to I-84. That drive is just 13 minutes into downtown Portland at this point, but still slow coming in on I-5 south. The drive from Main Street to 405 is at 22 minutes.
Two brothers convicted of killing their parents in a high-profile 1990s case will face parole hearings this week. We'll explain what's at stake and how the final decision could reach the governor of California. Also ahead.
New questions about whether a meeting between Russia's President Putin and Ukraine's President Zelensky will actually happen. I'm Alice Barr in Washington. Coming up, we'll have the latest comments from both sides in the efforts to push for more pressure on President Putin to end the war.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
All right, this was in the news earlier this week. We've got an update for you this morning. We know Arizona iced tea has managed to keep the price of its cans at just 99 cents since 1992. You know what else happened in 1992?
I was not born.
I graduated high school.
Oh, I was born a year before that.
Well, the company's founder, by the way, says that price, that 1992 price of just 99 cents is really becoming a lot harder to maintain.
92, huh?
92.
Okay, but despite tariffs from the Trump administration impacting the cost of aluminum, he says he still has no plans to raise the price. NBC's Savannah Sellers has the details.
Amid a global trade war and growing sticker shock for consumers, the price of one item has shockingly remained the same. A big can of Arizona iced tea, still 99 cents after more than 30 years. Like the $1.50 Costco hot dog and soda combo, it's a deal that stood the test of time.
Add tariffs to things that don't impact all the communities. Everybody loves Arizona tea.
But it's a price that Don Voltaggio, founder of the Arizona Beverage Company, says is becoming harder to maintain.
There's been a lot of chatter online, so let's just definitively answer the question. Are you raising the prices of your big cans above 99 cents?
Right now, we have no plan to do it. We're trying to hold the line.
So you're not raising prices?
No, we're not.
Those iconic 99-cent cans cause the American company to use more than 100 million pounds of aluminum a year, about 20% of that supply coming from Canada. In June, the White House announced that tariffs on aluminum and steel imports would double from 25 to 50%.
How much more is a big can costing you to make right now?
Aluminum is up about 40%. So if you buy 100 million pounds and if it's $1 a pound, it's $40 million cost that we're absorbing. And it's more than that because aluminum is more than $1 a pound. The way I can get some of that back is by increasing sales of the company. That's a good way to offset costs.
If you were a smaller company, could you survive the price in aluminum going up so high?
No.
Earlier this year, industry giant Coca-Cola said it would consider using more plastic bottles to offset high tariffs. Starting next month, Arizona will sweeten the deal on its own plastic bottled beverages, known as tall boys, dropping the price for a 20-ounce drink from $1.25 down to $1.
Offering value is always a good idea. And when you can do it, you should. So I can kind of tighten my belt. Because the people I service and the customers of mine, they're tightening their belt every day.
Together with his two sons, Voltaggio has transformed their private family-owned business into a multi-billion-dollar brand, with its heartbeat right here.
1,300 a minute running right now.
Their largest manufacturing facility, located in New Jersey, known as Arizona Land.
The price currently is $1.25. In another month or so, it's going to go to $1.
A price tag worth fighting for.
Grew up in Brooklyn, and I work for $1 an hour. I respect the value of $1. If I can help people and give them a refreshing beverage for an affordable price, why not? And since I can afford to do it, why not continue to do it?
A quick little story. I will never forget this. When I was in college, I was one of those people that did not drink water. I probably drank an accumulative of a glass a month, every 2 months.
Just straight water.
Yeah.
The hard stuff.
Yes. And I was a college cheerleader, and I would go to practice at 6 a.m. with a jug of Arizona iced tea.
Oh my God.
A jug of raspberry iced tea, and when we had breaks, I would take a swig of that. And I will never forget, every time I did it, my coach was like, "What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You're gonna die. You're not drinking. You're
And
drinking."
Here you are, living to tell.
Yeah. Now I have back problems.
That is pretty crazy, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Big jug got me through.
So we recommend drinking water tomorrow if you're running hood to coast, not the Arizona iced tea.
No.
And Rod just pulled out some crazy numbers, the difference from last year's hood to coast weather compared to what we expect to have tomorrow.
So I forgot about this. On the Friday of hood to coast, which would be tomorrow, if you will, it was 69 degrees in Portland. It was a complete overcast, ongoing light rain throughout the day. In fact, we had 0.2 of an inch of rain came down. And then on the Saturday, when it wraps up, of course, it wraps up at the coast, but it was still cloudy. Portland was still 70, the beach was in the low 60s. This time we're talking about this, a complete opposite, if you will. Timberline, absolutely clear tomorrow morning. We think of sun up time about 60 degrees. Relays, they send off the first waves well before 5 in the morning. So it'll be about 60, I think, much of the overnight after midnight. And then at noon, the PM hour, this is the big concern because it's tomorrow afternoon and early evening and the waves of runners will be starting to work out of the Cascades through the Willamette Valley and through the Portland area. 85 at noon in Portland, and then later in the day, 98, 101. Now we know for a fact, because we can tell by the record book, if it would to hit 102 tomorrow, which it could, then without question, it would be the hottest hood to coast relay ever. And maybe it already is with these numbers. I didn't take the time to look at the actual different dates of the hood to coast runs over the years because that would take forever. But anyway, Saturday in Seaside, clear skies, 57, pretty nice. Noontime 76, and then it could still be 80 degrees and clear at the coast on Saturday. We know it's going to be clear today. There's a little shallow fog early this morning from Snoqualmie Casino Resort. Temperatures will be in the 70s today, and it'll be maybe mid-80s in Seaside tomorrow, for example, 85 degrees. Here's Salem Skycam, where you folks will get up to 90 or a little bit hotter today. Today is the day we're not saying we get into the heat wave today, but we start the springboard activity of heating up. Remember, we've been 70s and low 80s for a week in Portland. Today we're going to be pushing 90. Right now, 59 degrees. Temperatures at 8 o'clock hour starting to go up. 58 in Kelso. Astoria was in the 40s this morning, now 52. Bend's up to 61. Baker City's up to 55. Burns is all the way up to 62. Everybody's clear statewide. Valley numbers today, I mentioned 90 or a little bit better in the valley. McMinnville, Salem, Corvallis projected to be low 90s today. Likely that Salem hits 100 tomorrow. Southwest Washington, close to 90, maybe making it in a few spots, generally 87 to 89. And here are the numbers on the 70. The red is the heat alert, the impact alert, 89 today. The record tomorrow is 98. We're projecting 99 to 100, so we think we'll break that record. The record's 101 Saturday. If we hit 100 tomorrow, I bet you we go 101 or 102 on Saturday. That would take care of the record. The record Sunday's 99. We'll be close, maybe there. I've got 97. 95 on Monday would equal the record. And that's your forecast for now.
Thank you, Rod.
We need to hold Putin accountable. We need to get the parties to the table. We need a ceasefire.
New this morning, growing uncertainty over whether a face-to-face meeting between President Zelensky and Putin will even happen. Still ahead on Sunrise, why the White House is remaining confident despite Moscow signaling it's a no in the rush.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
President Donald Trump insists the leaders of Ukraine and Russia will soon sit down to negotiate an end to their war.
But so far, officials in Russia have rejected the idea. NBC's Alice Barr brings us the latest from Washington, D.C.
New questions this morning about whether a meeting between Ukraine's President Zelensky and Russia's President Putin will actually happen, while the White House voices confidence that it's on track.
Sometimes leaders sitting down face to face can break the logjam that their teams don't necessarily have the ability to do.
Russia is signaling it's in no rush for a leaders' summit, with top diplomat Sergei Lavrov saying lower-level negotiations must come first. And that talks among Western leaders about guaranteeing Ukraine's security are a, quote, road to nowhere without Russia involved. Those talks continued Wednesday at a meeting of NATO military leaders. Ukraine now buoyed by President Trump's new pledge of American assistance to prevent a future Russian attack, though he's ruled out U.S. troops on the ground. Some lawmakers pressing the president to act on the harsher sanctions he's long discussed to ramp up pressure on the Russian economy.
We need to hold Putin accountable. We need to get the parties to the table. We need a ceasefire.
With the Russian bombardment only intensifying, a former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine arguing Putin has no incentive to stop.
They want to continue to pound the Ukrainians until they get what they want. And that's why standing up to them is the only way to do it.
Ukraine's President Zelensky saying overnight his meeting with Putin is necessary to end the war, even as his team is preparing action plans if Russia backs out and its assault drags on.
The Ukrainian president wants an understanding of the protections his allies are willing to offer hammered out within the next 10 days. One of his top aides now pressing for concrete and effective agreements, citing past efforts that failed to prevent Russia from going on the attack again. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Here's a look at some other national headlines now with your Morning Rush. Republican lawmakers in the Texas House of Representatives passed a plan to redraw the state's congressional map. This new map would create up to 5 new winnable seats for Republicans in Congress. In response to this, California's legislature is likely to approve their own new state maps later this week that would add some more Democratic-friendly seats to Congress. Also making headlines, Eric and Lyle Menendez, convicted of murdering their parents back in the 1990s, will face a parole board in California this week. They're hoping to show that they're suitable for release. If approved, the decision to release the two will ultimately land on the desk of California Governor Gavin Newsom. All right, this is a pretty wild story. I can't believe this has actually gone all the way to a lawsuit, but passengers from both Delta and United Airlines are suing both airlines because they say they paid extra for a window seat, but were actually placed next to this, a blank wall. That's their window seat right there. The suit covers more than 1 million passengers for each airline. So far, Delta and United have both failed to respond to NBC's request for comment.
And we started to think we might not be able to mediate this in the school year and open on time.
A charter school says protests outside the Portland ICE facility are forcing them to move. And next on Sunrise, how teachers are rushing to get ready for the new school year. Plus.
So this weekend, it's all about communication for us, and that communication starts right now.
Hood to Coast is getting ready to kick off this weekend, but organizers are now having to deal with the added pressure of a heat wave. What their plan is ahead at 8:30.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact.
Good morning, I'm China Green. Evergreen public school workers, including para-educators, bus drivers, and maintenance staff, will vote today on whether to strike. They've been bargaining since March for higher pay and safer conditions. The strike's vote comes just days before the new school year is set to begin. The district told us this morning if the strike were to stretch into the school year, they would continue negotiations until a deal is reached. Head over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
Well, right now we're okay, but the big word is the hot weather and potential 100-degree temperatures in the valley starting tomorrow afternoon and again on Saturday and potentially again on Sunday. So here we are right now, beautiful clear skies. We're at 60 degrees, warming up now, coming up on 8:30. Downtown Portland, well, looking up near the Moda Center, up I-5, 59 from the Rose City camera. I've got a 75 at noon, so really nice weather into the afternoon. But later today, you'll notice, haven't had this in a while. The rising temperatures nearing 90, 89 in Portland. And in red, the impact alert for the heat wave coming. 100 tomorrow, near 100 Saturday, 97 Sunday, mid-90s on Monday and Tuesday.
.30 half hour of the Sunrise Show on a Thursday, the day before our KGW Weather Impact Alert days begin. This is a live look from our Timberline Lodge Skycam. A look at Mount Hood on this Thursday morning. China Green, what do you say to the mountain?
Good morning.
Morning, mountain.
It looked really pretty out there. I know today you've been saying it's going to be a beautiful day today, but people need to buckle up for this weekend.
And I'm going to take a look at that. I'm going to take a screen grab of that.
Okay.
And we're going to look at how much snow and where the Palmer snowfield is right now.
When?
And then Monday, I'll take it when I get back to the studio. Then Monday, we'll compare to the live camera. But I bet you the snow loss up there on some of the glaciers that are remaining is going to be significant.
Just over the course of 3 days.
Yeah, because it's going to be that hot up there. Here's a look at our Snow Queens Casino Resort camera in the coast. Yeah, beautiful weather. Got some walkers out there. I think 70s today for you, and then 80s tomorrow. Rose City camera, 59 degrees, light winds. Today's a really nice day. That becomes hot later this afternoon, 75 at noon. I've got Salem reaching 90. I've got Portland maybe just stopping short at 89 degrees. It will be a warm day in more areas than not. We've got nearing 90 in some spots in eastern Oregon, but even you folks today generally holding in the 80s. Pretty nice for you, right? The Dow's up into the 90s today and tomorrow. You could be 100 plus starting Saturday, 90 in Madras. There's the 90-degree number we expect in Salem, Albany, and Eugene, 85 up in Kelso, and some 70s at the coast. The big story, of course, is the heat wave coming starting tomorrow. The extreme heat warning from the Weather Service, the impact alert through Monday with the red colors on the 7-day, 89 today, the 100-degree temps tomorrow and Saturday. And then we'll see how far up in the 90s we still get on Sunday and Monday. Tuesday, 94. It could be Wednesday before we even have the chance to stay below 90 degrees, and that is your update.
I guess they say summer not over yet, right, Ron? Hey, quick check of drive times coming in from Vancouver to downtown Portland. You see right now the drive on I-5 south from Vancouver, Main Street to 405. It is a slow one. Cars only moving at 25 miles per hour, but much better over on 205 coming in from Vancouver. Patton Parkway to I-84. That's just an 11-minute drive right now. All right, top story here at 8:30. The heat is going to take off tomorrow, as Rod just mentioned, but so is this year's Hood to Coast. The mother of all relays starts tomorrow. It goes through Saturday down along the coast. About 19,000 runners expected to take part this year.
Yeah, it's a lot. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us with details on what race organizers are doing to keep people safe. Corey?
Drew, China, this year's Hood to Coast could be the hottest on record. A big change organizers are making this year is they're going to have ice and cooling towels available for runners at exchange points on the hottest parts of that course. Race leaders tell us they're over communicating with runners to make sure they're prepared for the extreme temperatures. Teams are encouraged to carry water, make sure race vans are stocked with electrolytes, and to pace themselves in the hot weather. The first wave of runners leaves Timberline at 2:30 tomorrow morning and every 5 minutes after that. On Saturday, teams will cross the finish line in Seaside all throughout the day. First responders will also be roaming the course to help with any heat-related issues that pop up.
And we have enthusiastic participants from 50 states and 40 countries, and the enthusiasm is the best part about them, but it's also the thing that we have to rein in a little bit when it comes to heat and safety. And so this weekend, it's all about communication for us, and that communication starts right now with hydration early and often.
Multnomah County officials also tell KGW the health department is concerned about the heat wave and has been in contact with the race's organizers. Drew?
All right, Corey Johnson reporting for us on that big Hood to Coast race. Of course, we already know how dangerous hot temperatures can be this time of the year, but here's one more example. Multnomah County officials believe that 2 people in the county died from heat-related illnesses just 2 weeks ago. Seniors who live alone and without AC are always among the most vulnerable. So to help with that, places like the Gresham Senior Center are inviting people inside to cool off. The center offers programs and meals for people 50 and older, but they say that anyone who's looking to escape the heat is welcome.
We want to get that message out, even late in the season. Don't tough it out. Try to find cool spaces.
Multnomah County officials have not yet activated any cooling centers for tomorrow or through the weekend, but they say that decision could still come either later today or sometime tomorrow. Keep it right here on KGW for the latest on our weather impact alert days. Rod Hill will have more for us coming up this half hour right here on KGW+. You can also get the latest forecast at KGW.com.
This morning, we're hearing from Oregon's sole Republican member of Congress, Representative Cliff Bentz, who's defending his vote for President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill.
KGW investigative reporter Evan Watson has more after speaking with Representative Bentz and also the people who are protesting his decisions.
Representative Cliff Bentz is backing up his vote, saying the Big Beautiful Bill slows unchecked spending and adds accountability for states. He's responding to criticism from Oregon Governor Kotek, but in turn, he's facing criticism from voters and protesters who are upset with his support for that federal spending bill.
You're not listening to your voters.
Hold the town hall.
Protesters telling Representative Cliff Bentz what they think of his vote for the Big Beautiful Bill. Some voters calling for Bentz's job, saying he's failing to check President Trump's power.
A lot of frustration. I wanted to be here in case we could see him and say to his face, you're failing us and you're not doing your job.
Representative Bentz at a Rotary Club meeting in the Dalles explained his support for the bill.
People are on Medicaid that are making too much money to be on Medicaid.
He answered critical questions about federal spending, threats to rural hospitals, assistance for farmers, and cuts for public broadcasting. KGW sat down with Bentz after the meeting, who explained his support for expanded work requirements for Medicaid and food stamps.
They're both essential programs, and it needs to be understood that I support those programs, but I don't support sloppy operation of the programs. $1 trillion a year for Medicaid. This year, I think it's $850 billion, somewhere in that neighborhood, and it's growing so rapidly. We can't allow free riders to be on this program. Folks that shouldn't be on it should be helping pay for their insurance, just like so many other people do.
Kelly McCune says she's always calling Bentz's office.
I actually think we should take care of our fellow Americans, not just abandon them.
Bentz welcoming the criticism.
I'm happy for those people being there, and that's because this is America, and you should have every right to make your point heard. And protesting is as old as this country, and so good on them for getting out there and saying what they think.
Bentz is in the Dalles working on his Watershed Development Act, a bill that would transfer land from the U.S. Forest Service to the city of the Dalles to expand the city's water supply. We'll have more from our interview with Bentz on federal spending cuts and other areas Thursday on KGW. Evan Watson reporting.
A task force set up by Oregon Governor Tina Kotek says Multnomah County should lower taxes to boost the local economy. They're looking specifically at two big programs here, Preschool for All and the Portland Clean Energy Fund. The task force just released a long list of recommendations that include reallocating extra money collected by the Portland Clean Energy Fund. The fund was created by a surcharge on large retailers and was projected to bring in about $30 to $90 million a year. But the Portland Metro Chamber president who sits on the task force says it's made much more than that.
The fund, where the surcharge goes, is now sitting on somewhere between $500 and $600 million. While all of us in the community sit around and watch core services like cleaning, safety, economic development, small business support, transportation, in a structural crisis.
Meantime, the county's Preschool for All tax collects from residents making more than $125,000 a year or $200,000 for those filing jointly, but some argue it's causing high income earners to move. The task force outlined several options, including raising income thresholds or ending the program altogether.
Protests outside the ICE facility in South Portland have forced a charter school in that neighborhood to move. The school says it's had to deal with chemicals and smoke in the air and debris on the playground. The Cottonwood School of Civics and Science used to sit right next to that ICE facility, but now the charter school is leasing space from Bridges Middle School about a mile away over on Southwest 1st Avenue.
And people were saying we're not going to send them because we're next to the ice building. Our garden was enveloped in gases one evening, and we started to think we might not be able to mediate this in the school year and open on time.
Teachers are moving fast at this point to organize their classrooms for the start of the new school year. Cottonwood kids are back in the classroom on September 2nd.
Alice Deal from Grants Pass is competing on the national stage this week for the Miss Wheelchair America crown. Deal's platform is her advocacy for homeless people and vulnerable communities. Miss Wheelchair America is an organization advocating for more than 70 million Americans living with disabilities. And Deal says she's competing alongside 18 other state title holders.
We're all just here for each other. I think that's the best part of it, is we finally get to meet and spend time together and talk about our platforms and what we're passionate about. And like I said, I would not want to be a judge in this competition because I think everybody is just fabulous. Like, it's the ultimate winner circle.
State winners will compete in panel judging today, read speeches tomorrow, and then the final crowning ceremony is set for Saturday.
All right, another look at traffic here in the 8 o'clock hour. This is the drive-in on several different freeways. Let's go down below. That's our real trouble spot right now. I-5 north, traveling from Wilsonville to downtown. Really slow right now, just 29 miles per hour. That's a 35-minute drive at this point. You can also see there on the board the drive-in to town from I-84 West and Highway 26 East. We'll keep an eye on this as we close out this hour of Sunrise.
Next week is back to school for Portland Public Schools, but what's not coming back is a traditional grading structure. We'll explain how the new grading system for middle schoolers works after this.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and tonight at 6:30 on The Story, the drama around Multnomah County's Preschool for All program continues. Portland City Councilors now getting involved as county commissioners consider changes to the pre-K program. Watch The Story tonight live at 6:30 on KGW or anytime on our TV app, KGW+. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
All right, we are entering the final week of this year's KGW School Supply Drive. We're going to wrap it up next Thursday. So 1 week from today, there is still time to give, and you can give in person. You can drop off school supplies at any On Point Community Credit Union location, any Rick's Custom Fencing location, or any one of our other community partners like Kitchen Caboodle. Caboodlers Unite. Also this week, Windermere Real Estate is matching the first $5,000 donated to the drive, so your dollars will go even farther this week thanks to Windermere. A big thank you this morning to our friends at Rick's Custom Fencing, Safeway, and our longtime supporters at On Point Community Credit Union for making this year's drive a success.
And a comedian is also helping out. Josh Johnson, best known as a correspondent on The Daily Show, has partnered with Schoolhouse Supplies to get students and teachers back to school with everything they need. So he asked fans coming to his Portland shows at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall to bring supplies and donate. Tonight is his third and final show before he heads to Seattle. Can you at least be on beat? Both of you. My goodness. Big changes are coming for middle schoolers in Oregon's largest school district. Report cards and homework will look a little different this year.
So will music class. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has more this morning on how Portland Public Schools are altering their grading system.
Some things are constant for middle schoolers. There's math class, gym class, and report cards. Though soon, grading could change.
The grade book is going to look different.
Melissa Sabga is a math teacher at Robert Gray Middle School. This year, middle schoolers across Portland Public will be graded on a new system. Report cards won't be rated A through F. Homework won't be graded either.
I personally love it.
It's called standards-based grading, where grades are based on knowledge of material.
It gives very specific information to parents on where students are doing well and where maybe they need more work.
Here's how it works. Instead of a kid getting an 89 in English, grades are more specific. Maybe a student is highly proficient in reading, but lacking in writing.
And you can really see where the gaps are and where the learning is.
Micah Yai is a Lewis and Clark education professor. She wrote a book about this model.
It's very clear where students know things.
Other districts are using standard-based grading too. Beaverton uses the model because it assesses student progress and provides timely feedback.
There's much more fine grain, so you can see where you need to do your instruction.
Still, it's an idea national outlets like the New York Post blasted 2 years ago when PPS announced the change. Critics say it fails kids who need help. PPS declined our interview request. And while teachers say homework isn't graded, kids do take assessments to show what they've mastered.
It's much more equitable for all kids, really.
As a sixth grade teacher, I think it's better for students.
In Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
One more note to Thomas's story here. Portland Public Schools also planning to use standards-based grading in elementary schools, but the timeline for that is still not set. All right. I'll continue to talk since neither one of you did. We have weather to get to now.
Don't say anything.
Rodney Hill.
How far he can go.
I'll tell you how far I can go. Ryan, take that weather mat, would you? All right. Rod's taking a little bit of a break here. We've got some big weather to talk about this weekend. A heat wave, the likes of which we have not seen so far this summer. We're talking about 90-degree temperatures at the very least for the next 5 days, including temperatures in the hundreds, perhaps tomorrow and Saturday.
I know you've done sports. Did you ever do weather?
Nah,
I know you've done sports before.
No.
Okay, all right.
Go back there.
All right, get out of here. All right, the warning map lit up. It's the pink tones that we're really looking at. That's the extreme heat warning that starts tomorrow at 11 o'clock, goes through Monday night. These are areas that are expected to be right around, if not hit 100. Areas that just don't do it that often. This includes from south of Eugene up into Vancouver and in the gorge out the Hood River. The orange areas, like the last heat wave, are heat advisories for at least mid-90s expected, but not really a risk of hitting 100. And then this other player right here, the Dalles, Wasco County, good morning. This is an extreme heat watch that's expected to become a warning, not tomorrow, but Saturday. It's Saturday that you folks will start getting up above 100 degrees, which you do from time to time, but not all that often. All right. 95 to 103 between Friday and Monday seems to be the overall range that we expect here in the Willamette Valley. So heat exhaustion, move to a cooler area, loosen clothing, cool water, seek medical help if your symptoms don't improve, dizziness, thirst, heavy sweating, nausea, weakness. This basically, even if you're young and healthy and fit, if you don't keep hydrated and you find yourself getting tired and you don't take a break in the heat of the day, you can get heat exhaustion. And then the more serious matter, heat stroke, which can be deadly if untreated. Confusion, dizziness, of course, becoming unconscious. These things, if you're with somebody, call 911. All right. Hood to Coast, one of two big events tomorrow. The other one is the State Fair down in Salem, of course. Hood to Coast starts at Timberline. It'll be about 60 in the morning. And then the concern here, the runners coming through the valley in the afternoon. It could be mid-80s at noon in Portland, then 98 to maybe 101 tomorrow afternoon into early evening during the late afternoon hours, anything after 3 o'clock. And then you're in the 60s overnight hours running through the Coast Range. And then Seaside, of course, to finish Saturday morning should be clear. 57 in the morning, about 76 at noon, and it still could be sunny and 82 potentially. The coast is all clear right now. This is Lincoln County. This is the inn at Ottercrest down south of Depot Bay. Beautiful sunny skies. A lot of areas will be in the 80s at the beaches again tomorrow, and maybe so Sunday. Sunday's not as high a confidence because at some point Sunday, maybe not into Monday, we're going to start seeing some fog banks along the beaches. For today, though, all clear, all areas. Portland's at 59. Beautiful sunny start to our day and a really nice morning. 60 in Salem, 66 over in Bend, 61 out in John Day this morning, 50s at the beach currently. Valley forecast numbers back up to 90 or better for a lot of you. McMinnville, Salem, Corvallis. Portland up to just 90 or just staying shy. Same thing in Vancouver, 87 up in Longview. Wind direction today, northwest 5 to 15. So I've got Portland at 89. Today's the day that we start to heat up. Again, we haven't been above 82 in a week. Been a while. 100 tomorrow. If we don't do it tomorrow, I think we will Saturday. 97 Sunday. Monday, 95. All of these days could be records, or at least close to them. The hottest we've ever been this time of the year, period, is 102, and that is in play. 94 Tuesday, 88 on Wednesday, and now it is a birthday time. All right, who's having a party today? Joshua, 8 years old. Happy birthday to you. Big grin there. Gabriel with the kitty cat, 10 years old today. Happy birthday. No longer single digits. Moving on with life. 10. Birthdays at KGW.com, and we'll celebrate with you.
A quick traffic update here for you on this Thursday morning. The drives in from Vancouver. We say the drives because we've got your I-5 drive and your I-205 drive. The worst of which at this point is the drive in on 5. It's a 24-mile-an-hour drive right now that's taking drivers 21 minutes. We'll have more traffic for you in just a minute as we wrap up today's Sunrise Show.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
In our top stories this morning, Evergreen public school workers, including para-educators, bus drivers, and maintenance staff, are voting right now on whether to strike. They've been bargaining since March for higher pay and safer conditions. The strike vote comes just days before the new school year is set to begin, and the district told us this morning that if the strike were to stretch into the school year, that they would continue negotiations until a deal is reached. A task force created by Governor Tina Kotek is urging Multnomah County to lower taxes to help the economy. They're targeting the Preschool for All tax and the Portland Clean Energy Fund, which has collected far more money than expected. Options on the table include raising income thresholds, pausing on restructuring taxes, finding new funding sources, or just phasing out the programs altogether. And firefighters have contained a wildfire south of Lane Community College in Eugene. It burned about 3.5 acres, damaged property, and forced hundreds to evacuate. This morning, all evacuation orders are now down to a level 1 be ready status.
Big story. We start to warm up today, but the big story, of course, is the extreme heat warning up from the Weather Service starting tomorrow, going through Monday. And if you look at the 7-day, we have the red highlighted for the heat, but we also have a 94 on Tuesday. So we've got a good stretch of hot weather coming. 89 today. If we don't hit 100 tomorrow, I feel like we will on Saturday, certainly. Still upper 90s on Sunday and still mid 90s on Monday and Tuesday. Hydration, taking a break from the heat. If you feel yourself getting a little exhausted or fatigued, then that is the big story.
Rob will have more in your forecast in about 3 hours on KGW News at noon. But before we close out the Sunrise Show, we do have this shot for you from the Wooden Shoe Tulip Farm out in Woodburn. It's not tulip season, it's summer flowers season. And yep, they're doing the summer flowers through the end of this weekend. So you've got 4 more days to check out this now annual event out there in Woodburn. They say it's 30 acres of summer flowers, some hot air balloon flights as well. Yes, there are sunflowers, but a whole lot of other varieties in addition to that. If you want more information, you can check out woodenshoe.com.
Pick an umbrella, that's the thing, a lot of people do that when it's really hot like this. You're gonna be out in the fields.
But I thought you can't do
Nice
that in the
hat.
Pacific Northwest. I thought you can't have umbrellas out here.
That's for rain. I think we're okay with using it for shade, but not for rain.
Okay, weird.
I know.
Absolutely weird. Hey, we want to remind you that you can watch this, us 3, anytime you want.
If you must.
If you must. Exclusively on KGW Plus, where you're at right now. We know you tuned in right now, but we start at 7 if you didn't know that. Anyways, have a great day.